Live at the Royce Hotel, Clark Freeport, Mabalacat City, Pampanga, Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute proudly presents the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference with your host, Mr. Kristen Campo and Ms. Kathleen 𝗛𝗽𝗶𝗴.
Good morning, everyone! I am Kat from the NFRDI Fisheries Post-Harvest Research and Development Division.
And I am Kristan from the Marine Fisheries Research and Development Center of NFRDI.
The Department of Agriculture National Fisheries Research and Development Institute welcomes you all to the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference with the theme
From Research to Application, Transforming Fisheries for a Productive and Sustainable Future. Now, to formally start this conference, may we request everyone to please stand for a prayer to be led by the NFRDI Chorale, to be followed by the singing of the Philippine National Anthem, Bagong Pilipinas Hymn, and the NFRDI Hymn.
Thank you, NFRDI 𝗛𝗽𝗲𝗲. Everyone, you may now take your seats. Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Hello, Kristen. Are you so excited for this event?
Of course, Kath, I am so excited, especially that I see so many familiar faces in the industry as well as also new faces in this year's SciCon.
Kristen and I and all of the organizing committee, we are so delighted to see distinguished guests, dedicated researchers, educators, industry partners, and colleagues from different institutions gathered here today, as well as our online participants who are watching from our second platform on our Facebook live stream.
We would also like to take this moment to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed VIPs, NFRDI Governing Board members, and distinguished guests. First on the list, we have the Assistant Director of Technical Services of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Attorney Isidro M. Velayo Jr.
We also have today the representative from the Academ and the President of the PASOK, Dr. Tirso A. Ronquillo.
A representative from the Municipal Fisheries Sector, Ms. Gavina P. Tumbaga.
And we also have here today the Senior Environmental Specialist of the World Bank, Ms. Agnes Balota Co.
We are likewise privileged to have with us today the former Interim Executive Director of NFRDI who have dedicated years of service to the Institute.
Allow us to recognize Mr. Noel Barrot, former Interim Executive Director of NFRDI, whose contributions have greatly shaped the direction of fisheries research and management in the country.
Moreover, we want to take this opportunity to acknowledge the presence of our esteemed BFAR regional directors and representatives, our partner agencies, as well as the hardworking researchers, scientists, coordinators, and students who will be presenting their studies in this conference. Today, your voices and findings will help shape the future of our fisheries research.
That's right, Kristen. This year's conference is not just a gathering of minds, but a celebration of innovation, collaboration, and shared commitment to sustainable fisheries. We are excited to announce to our licensed fisheries professionals that continuing professional development, or CPD points, are accredited for this scientific conference. 2.5 units to be granted for the plenary session and 1.5 units for the parallel session.
So come and join us in this event. Through knowledge exchange and scientific dialogue, we build stronger bridges between research and practice, ensuring that our fisheries sector remains resilient for generations to come. For our online participants, should you have any questions during the sessions of this year's SciCon, we encourage you to post them in the comments section of our official Facebook live stream.
Once again, we welcome you all to the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference. Without any further ado, to officially open this scientific conference, may we call on the leader who has been steering NFRDI with vision and dedication, the officer in charge of the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute, Dr. Maria Teresa M. Mutia, to be delivered by the Chief of the NFRDI Finance Administrative Division, Maria Salvacion R. Ferrer, for her welcome remarks. A big round of applause.
Okay, a very pleasant good morning to everyone. Hindi ko yata kayang pantayin yung energy ng ating mga MC. But like they said, I'm also happy to see old and familiar faces. But of course, I'm twice happy to see new faces. So welcome po dito sa ating 11th SciCon. Ma'am Maris, of course, I'm not Ma'am Maris. I'm only Ma'am Baby, the official caretaker of NFRDI, being the Chief Admin Officer. Kaya ako po ang tagapangalaga at being a good soldier at bona fide member ng 𝗛𝗽𝗶𝗴, ako po ay naatasan to deliver her welcome address. But before that, I would like to have a very brief survey. Would you agree with me if I say research or science wins? Science wins. Research wins. Right now, siguro po mag-agree kayo that researchers may not be the highest paying job, but the most credible, reliable job. Hindi na po ako mag-elaborate. With your indulgence, let me read her message. Members of the NFRDI Governing Board, scientists and researchers, distinguished experts, students and young researchers, partners and sponsors, colleagues at 𝗛𝗽𝗵𝗴 and NFRDI, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to officially welcome you to the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference. I am pleased to share that we have 1,253 online participants, of which 664 are PRC licensed professionals, and this remarkable turnout not only reflects the wide reach of our conference, but also affirms its relevance to both the scientific community and practitioners in the field. That's why I said research or science wins. It shows that the knowledge and insights generated here are not confined to academic spaces. They are being sought after by those who will apply them in practice, policy, and community engagement. This year's theme underscores a vital truth for the fisheries R&D sector, which I am proud na member po tayong lahat. Research creates impact only when applied. And this is captured also in our theme, from research to application, transforming fisheries for a productive and sustainable future. According to World Bank, the fisheries sector in the Philippines contributes about 1.3% to the national GDP, sustains around 1.6 million jobs, or roughly estimated 4% of the total labor force. And it supplies more than half of the dietary protein consumed by Filipino families. Yet, despite the solid foundation, many critical issues persist, like overfishing, climate change impacts, deteriorating post-harvest systems, to inequities to access for small-scale fishers. Research, unless translated into policies, practice, or tools, remains academic. As the fisheries research arm of the Department of Agriculture and FAR, we at NFRDI strive to bridge the gap between research and action. Over the next 2 decades, or over the next 2 days, we will be witnessing the launch of our new knowledge products, including training modules, handbooks, and posters that will serve as practical tools for all our stakeholders. We will also hold plenary and parallel sessions on aquaculture, post-harvest, captured fisheries, and cost-cutting themes. Another highlight of this event is the Spotlight competition, where the 𝗵𝗴 Fisheries Scholarship Program's recipients present their thesis and dissertation. And this year, we are also introducing the Dr. 𝗛𝗽𝗵𝗴 Special Recognition Award This is to honor outstanding contributions in fisheries research whose work has demonstrably advanced the sector through application. None of what we will achieve in the coming days would have been possible without the dedication, hard work, and collaboration of everyone. To our very committed working committees, and of course, thank you for your hard work and dedication you have poured in organizing this conference. And to our invited guests, both local and international, and to all who submitted and shared their work, we are deeply grateful. We look forward to learning with you and from you. In closing, let us remember the real value of scientific research in fisheries is not simply in advancing technology knowledge, but in changing practices, shaping policies, improving livelihoods, and safeguarding our marine and aquatic resources for future generations. Research creates impact only when applied. Please remember that. May this conference be the living proof of that. Again, thank you, and I look forward to learning with and from all of you over the next 2 days. That is the message of Ma'am Maris. She will be back later to join us. Muli, magandang umaga sa ating lahat at maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mutia and Madam Ferrer, for that inspiring message. Truly, it is important for research to make an impact, reach the grassroots. And with our efforts, our collaborative efforts, truly we are off to a strong start.
By the way, we would like to inform everyone that you can access the official website for this SciCon by scanning the QR code flashed on the screen. Now, to fire us up even more, let us hear a message from a dedicated champion of our fisheries program, the National Director of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Director 𝗛𝗽𝗶ሔር𝗴, to be represented by the Assistant Director of Technical Services of BIFAR, Assistant Director Isidro M. Vilayo Jr.
And of course, Assistant Director Vilayo will also introduce our esteemed keynote speaker for this 11th Scientific Conference.
Once again, a big round of applause for Assistant Vilayo.
Good morning, everyone. From Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. By the way, this morning I will be wearing 3 hats. Kung sa kape, parang 3 in 1. I'll be delivering the message of our National Director, who happens also to attend an equally important event today, as well as the message of our very own Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel, his message for this 11th SciCon conference, as well as the introduction of our USEC for Fisheries, Drusilla Esther Bayate, for our keynote speaker for the day. But before I will proceed, please allow me to recognize also our esteemed guests for today, our members of the NFRDI Governing Board. We have here with us Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, sir. Ma'am Gavina Tumbaga. Of course, the former Executive Director of NFRDI, Mr. Noel Barut. And our dear regional directors of BIFAR. I've seen here Director Noemi, Director Remia, Director Relly, Director Omni, Director Dina, OIC Attorney Gurley, or who else? ARD Omar, and the BFAR regions who are represented this morning, our representatives, participants from the academe, our resource speakers, our officer in charge, Dr. Maris Mutia, and the officials of NFRDI and the NFRDI personnel, all R&D stakeholders, again, my fellow government workers, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. It is a privilege to join you at the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference here in Clark, Pampanga. Seeing researchers, students, policymakers, fisher folk leaders, and industry partners together in one room reflects what the conference is all about: connecting science with the people who will use it. This year's theme, From Research to Application, Transforming Fisheries Science for a Productive and Sustainable Future, captures exactly what our sector needs today. Research that stays in reports cannot serve its purpose. Research that is applied can change how we manage resources, support our fisher folk, and strengthen our food security. As for the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, science is where programs begin. Decisions on closed fishing seasons, fishery management areas, or aquaculture expansions are not guesses. They were derived from long and tedious field works, research samples, and scientific conclusions that many of you here have produced. Without that, our efforts would lack direction. With it, we are able to design programs that matter to the communities. This conference highlights 4 subsectoral themes, namely aquaculture, capture fisheries, fisheries post-harvest, and cross-cutting topics. These represent the whole chain of our sector, from how we raise and harvest fish to how we manage wild stocks and how we process and bring products to the market, and to the broader issues that link everything together, such as climate change and governance. Each area demands attention, and each benefits when science is translated into practice. To our students and young researchers, your work contributes to a larger effort to maintain our fisheries productivity and sustainability. To our partners in government and industry, the challenge is to make sure this research is not left in conference halls or reports, but applied where it can guide fisher folk and strengthen our food systems. We face real challenges: climate change, declining resources, and the urgent need to keep fish affordable for every Filipino family. But with the knowledge and collaboration gathered here, we are in a stronger position to meet them. I thank the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute for sustaining this platform, and I thank all of you for your dedication to fisheries science. May this conference continue to bridge research and action. Marami pong salamat at mabuhay ang sektor ng pangisdaan. And now please allow me to proceed to the message also of our dear Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel. For his keynote speech for the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference. Dr. Maria Teresa Mutia, I think she will be having a surprise announcement later. The officer in charge of NFRDI, esteemed members of the NFRDI Governing Board, researchers, students, and partners in the fisheries sector, colleagues at the Department of Agriculture, the BFAR, and NFRDI, ladies and gentlemen, again, good morning. I extend my warmest congratulations to the National Fisheries Research and Development Institute for successfully organizing the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference, or SciCon. This biennial event has become more than just a gathering of experts in fisheries. It is a vital platform for turning science into actionable solutions. The theme of this year's conference, From Research to Application, Transforming Fisheries for a Productive and Sustainable Future, reminds us that research is not just an end in itself. Its true value lies in its ability to address real-world challenges that could help us at the Department of Agriculture strengthen communities, protect ecosystems, and grow our economy. As the mandated research arm of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, NFRDI plays a critical role in ensuring that our fisheries policies and programs are grounded in sound science. Through this conference, NFRDI fulfills a very important mission to present the latest research findings that will serve as the basis for evidence-based and forward-looking policies in fisheries resource management. Your studies on stock assessment, aquaculture, capture fisheries, and post-harvest do not only enrich the scientific community, they provide the government with the knowledge it needs to make informed decisions. These are decisions that directly impact our fisherfolk, safeguard our aquatic resources, and secure the sustainability of one of the country's most vital industries. The numbers speak for themselves. In 2024, the fisheries sector generated 158.91 million metric tons of production, contributing nearly 13% of total agriculture and fisheries output, and supporting the livelihoods of over 1.6 million Filipinos. Behind these numbers are the policies, programs, and practices that science has shaped and will continue to shape through gatherings like the SciCon. This conference, therefore, is not just about presenting scientific papers or sharing findings. It is about building a bridge between discovery and decision-making, between innovation and implementation. The range of studies and technologies featured here, whether in aquaculture, post-harvest systems, climate resilience, or conservation, will help us respond to pressing challenges and anticipate the needs of tomorrow. As the department continues to champion innovation and sustainability, we recognize that SciCon is indispensable in guiding our path forward. It affirms our commitment to science-based governance and ensures that the wisdom of research fuels the progress of our fisheries sector. On behalf of Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel Jr. and the entire department, I commend the NFRDI, our researchers, students, and partners for your dedication, hard work, and contributions. May this year conference inspire us to deepen our collaboration, sharpen our policies, and transform knowledge into action that will secure a productive and sustainable future for Philippine fisheries. Again, congratulations, and I wish everyone a meaningful and productive conference. Maraming salamat at mabuhay po ang sektor ng pangisdaan sa Pilipinas. That was the message of Secretary Laurel. Thank you. Pause for water break. And now finally, let me proceed with the introduction to our keynote speaker for this SciCon, for this 11th Scientific Conference. In behalf also of our Undersecretary 𝗛ฑ์𝗽𝗶� who also attending an equally important event today, allow me to read the brief profile of our keynote speaker. He is known as a lawyer, a senator, an advocate for the agricultural sector. He graduated from the College of Law at the University of the Philippines and the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. From being a student leader at UP Diliman, he became the youngest councilor of Quezon City and was elected to the Senate for 3 terms, where he also served as the majority floor leader. As the chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Food, he passed several important laws, including the Organic Agriculture Act, Sagip-Saka Act, and Coco Levy Trust Fund Act, laws aimed at strengthening the agricultural sector and improving the livelihood of our farmers. He was also entrusted by former President Benigno Aquino III as the Presidential Assistant for Food Security and Agricultural Modernization, where he led the Philippine Coconut Authority, Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority, National Irrigation Authority, and National Food Authority. As chairman of the board of the Philippine Coconut Authority, he successfully led the effort in combating the state of calamity, Cocolisa pest infestation of over 2 million coconut trees in a period of 6 months. Described by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization as praiseworthy and commendable. Under his leadership, he effectively managed our country's rice supply from 2014 to 2015, wherein rice inflation dropped from 15% to 0.8% within just 1 year. This in turn brought down nationwide inflation to its lowest recorded rate in 20 years. Naipababa ang presyo ng bilihin dahil sa pagbaba ng presyo ng bigas. In 2022, during the presidential run of former Vice President Leni Robredo, upon the request of VP Leni, he set aside his own political plans to run for the Senate, despite what many have said to be a sure Senate win, and agreed to be her running mate as Vice President, carrying the platform, "Hello, pagkain, goodbye, gutom." 3 decades of public service for the Filipino people, a leader who embodies the values of being tapat at totoo in his service to the Filipino people, untainted by corruption. He now returns to the Senate as a senator for the 20th Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our returning senator, Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan.
Magandang araw sa lahat ng kaluhok ng Fish Saicon. Congratulations on your 11th year of gathering the best minds, hearts, and hands in fisheries and aquaculture. Share ko sa inyo ang pangarap ko para sa ating bansa. Isang Pilipinas na kilala sa buong mundo, hindi lamang sa lechon, adobo o Jollibee, kundi sa pagiging isang aquaculture powerhouse. At meron namang mga matibay na dahilan para matupad ang pangarap na ito. We have 2.2 million square kilometers of seas that covers about 80% ng ating national territory and exclusive economic zone. 20% lang ng ating teritoryo ay nasa lupa. 100 million of us, sabi nga, plus 100 million plus population, naroroon parang mga sardinas sa 20% ng ating lupa. We have the 6th longest coastline in the entire planet, right after Canada, Norway, Indonesia, Greenland, and Russia. 5th, pag hindi binilang ang Russia. Pero wala naman silang bangus doon. Biro lang. And the clincher, we are right in the Coral Triangle. Ang ating planeta, mayroong Coral Triangle na tinatawagan where the most diverse aquamarine ecosystem or species are located. Pilipinas, Indonesia, at Papua New Guinea. Pero ang center of the Coral Triangle narito sa atin, in our own backyard, ang Pilipinas. Ibig sabihin, napakayaman ng ating aquatic resources na kinakailangan nating ma-harness para mapigil na ang kahirapan, ang gutom. Fish and aquamarine resources are the cheapest sources of protein for a society na ginugutom at mataas ang presyo ng bilihin. With this natural bounty, the Philippines should be the place where fish and seaweed are not just for the table, but for the entire world market. But here's the paradox. Mayaman ang dagat, pero pinakamahirap ang mga mangingisda. Of our 16% rate of poverty nationwide, halos doble ang poverty levels sa ating hanay ng mga mangingisda. 27%. In 2024, we still produce 4.05 million metric tons of fish globally. Significant yan, but that less than a decade ago, Yet fisher folk, ika nga, remain one of the poorest households living below the poverty line. Ang monthly income ay anywhere between 11 to 13,000 pesos a month. Kulang na kulang. The wealth of our seas is not translating into the wealth of our fisher folk communities. And it's not just the fishers today, pati ang ating mga future fisher folk talagang apektado rin. In academic year 2023-2024 alone, only 6,900 students enrolled in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries programs nationwide. That's not even half of one full Araneta Coliseum volleyball or basketball crowd. Enrollment has been falling for decades by as much as 67% in certain regions. If this continues, who will manage our waters in 10, 20, 30 years? The next generation may know TikTok at ang mga ginagawa sa TikTok, pero hindi malalaman ang fish stock management. This is why we need a legislative measure. I filed once again in this Congress Senate Bill 221, which seeks to create a Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Dahil nga sa lawak ng ating karagatan, para matutukan ng husto ang ating fisheries and aquatic resources, kailangan ng separate department para dito. Ano ang dahilan? Number one, standalone department. It would no longer just be a line agency sa agriculture department. Fisheries will have its own captain, an own secretary, its own ship, and its own budget. Two, it will consolidate agencies instead of scattering bangkas paddling in the different directions. BIFAR, NFRDI, PFDA, and others will sail together under one flag. Yan yung National Fisheries Research and Development, Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. Number three, it is sustainability mandate. The department's compass is clear. Protect fisher folk, conserve resources, and manage our seas with science and evidence. With DFAR, we can finally align our geography and our blessings from the sea with our governance. Fisher folk won't just get nets and bangkas or boats. They'll get markets, fair prices, social protection, and the latest technology. Students won't see fisheries as a dead-end course. They will see careers, research opportunities, income generation, and innovation. Our seas won't just be rich, they'll be resilient, sustainable, future-proof. So if Singapore can be a financial hub, the Philippines can actually be an aquamarine resources hub in Asia and the rest of the world. If Switzerland is known for chocolates, we can be known for seafood, lobster, oysters, bangus exports. If Silicon Valley has unicorns, we can raise, maybe not seahorses, pero world-class aquaculture. Ang Pilipinas ay 4 hours away lamang sa bawat major city sa Asia by air. Therefore, we can actually be a hub for seafood, aquamarine resources to supply Asia and the rest of the world. Friends, with the Department of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources becoming law, fisher folk need not be poor, students in fisheries and aquatic resources will be inspired, and the Philippines will not just be an archipelago of islands, but an aquaculture superpower sa buong mundo. Maraming salamat, and may the seas be ever generous to those who sail, fish,
Maraming salamat po, BFAR Directors Lilig Secretary Chu Laurel and Senator Francis Kiko Pangilinan for the very empowering messages and supporting us in our endeavors towards a productive and sustainable Philippine fisheries. And of course, we would like to thank Assistant Director Vilayo for delivering the messages of our speakers and for introducing us our keynote speaker. Bigyan po natin sila ng masigabong palakpakan. To show our deepest gratitude, may we invite Dr. 𝗛𝗽𝗲𝗶 and Ms. Maria Salvacion Arferer, together with our NFRDI Division and Center Chiefs, to present the plaque of appreciation. We would like to request Assistant Director Vilayo to receive this plaque on behalf of our keynote speaker.
The citation reads, the Department of Agriculture National Fisheries Research and Development Institute presents this plaque of appreciation to Senator Francis Pangilinan as a keynote speaker during the 11th Fisheries Scientific Conference held on September 24 to 25, 2025 at the Royce Hotel, Pampanga. Given this 24th day of October 2025 at the Royce Hotel, Pampanga, signed Maria Teresa M. Otia, Doctor of Philosophy, Officer in Charge, NFRDI. Once again, let's give it a big round of applause.
Thank you once again to our distinguished speakers for this year's 11th SciCon. Let's give them another round of applause. We would also like to acknowledge our BFAR regional directors and their representatives who have joined us today in this event. And now, moving forward in our program, we are so excited to introduce to you a set of newly developed knowledge products and learning materials that will serve as valuable resources for our fisherfolk, students, and communities.
This consists of 5 training modules, 1 handbook, and 8 informative posters, all designed to provide technical guidance on knowledge toward more productive and sustainable fisheries. Let us begin with the 5 training modules, materials that provide step-by-step guidance to our aquaculture practitioners.
In relation to the establishment of the AquaBiz School and Technology Business Incubation, or ABS-TBI program, through the Department of Agriculture Agri-Industrial Business Corridors, or ABCs, NFRDI developed training modules for trainers and extension workers for the adoption of these technologies featured in the ABS-TBI program.
So ladies and gentlemen, as we present each knowledge product, we would like to formally invite here on stage the authors to be duly recognized for their invaluable efforts and dedication in the successful completion of these outputs.
First on the list of technologies, we have the oyster culture using modified bamboo raft technology with one of the authors, Dr. Joseph Christopher C. Rios. The oyster culture using modified bamboo raft technology training module was developed to improve oyster culture production by utilizing indigenous materials and modifying the bamboo raft which serves as the culture medium for the oyster.
We also have the nursery culture of mangrove crabs in pond net cages with one of the authors, Ms. Nonita S. 𝗶𝗶𝗶. This training module was developed adopting a science-based, systematic approach to managing nurseries and improving survival rates of crablets for a steady supply of seeds in the grow-out culture of the mangrove crab, Scylla serrata.
We also have another training module titled Grow Out Culture of Tilapia in Brackish Water Ponds with one of the authors, Mr. Clark Adrian A. Abao. The Grow Out Culture of Tilapia in Brackish Water Ponds training module was developed to help technology adopters utilize a more scientific, efficient, and feasible approach to tilapia culture in brackish water ponds.
We also have the grow out culture of tilapia in freshwater ponds with one of the authors. This grow out culture of tilapia in freshwater ponds training module was developed to standardize the culture of tilapia in freshwater ponds, which has long been practiced in inland areas all over the country.
And finally, we have the Grow Out Culture of Milkfish in Brackish Water Ponds. The training module in Grow Out Culture of Milkfish in Brackish Water Ponds was developed to refine the culture standards in order to improve production efficiency, enhance fish survival, and reduce operational cost while ensuring environmental sustainability.
We would like to request all the authors to please remain on stage for the photo opportunity.
Thank you, authors, and congratulations. Now, let's proceed to the handbook. Kath?
Okay, Kristen, let's proceed to our first handbook. The handbook and posters on common fishing gears in major bays of Calabarzon. This publication of handbook and 8 posters are outputs of the National Stock Assessment Program, or NSAP, of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Region 4A. The handbook serves as a significant reference material for further research and understanding of fishing gears and methods employed in the major bays within the region. While the posters showcase the dominant species across Region 4A, highlighting the most abundant fish and marine resources from 2015 to 2022. Each poster presents the species' common and local names, along with their maximum recorded sizes, reflecting the rich biodiversity and vital fisheries of these coastal areas. Alongside this is a list of the top 10 common fishing gears in Tagkawayan, Quezon, providing insights into the region's key fishing resources.
We would like to invite the main author of the handbook and posters, Madam Maribeth Ramos, as well as a representative from NSAP 4A for the photo opportunity. Once again, we would like to invite all the authors of the training modules, handbook and posters, and the NFRDI Governing Board on stage for the photo opportunity and turnover of these knowledge products to the stakeholders. We would also like to request Assistant Director Vilayo to assist and administer the awarding and turnover of these handbooks, posters, and training modules.
For everybody's information, these knowledge products are now available to our official website at www.nfrdi.da.gov.ph. On behalf of the organizing committee, we extend our deepest gratitude to all the contributors, authors, editors, and everyone who worked tirelessly to bring these knowledge products to life. May this serve not only as valuable references, but also as an inspiration for further research, policy making, and transformative action.
Thank you so much to our VIPs and governing board members for administering the launching of the knowledge products.
Once again, let's give them a big round of applause.
But the excitement doesn't stop there, Kath.
Really?
Yes. Up next, we will open the doors to knowledge and history through our exhibit, Ribbon Cutting. We are not just unveiling displays, we are celebrating creativity, innovation, and collaboration.
You know, Kristen, I can feel so much excitement for this one already. You know what? This year's exhibits highlight the NFRDI library at the center stage, supported by amazing displays such as Sardinella Remoro R&D initiatives, National Stock Assessment Program or NSAP, Fishery Post-Harvest Technology Innovation and Safety or PH-SAFE Program, Development of Salt Industry Project or DSIP, and AquaBees School and Technology Business Incubation or ABS-TBI.
Moving on, we also have participating researchers who have qualified for poster presentations both in person and online. According to our scientific committee, a total of 109 studies have qualified in the poster presentations coming from the 4 major categories.
We have 43 posters for the Capture Fisheries category.
From the aquaculture category, we have a total of 30 posters.
We also have 16 poster presenters for the Fisheries Post-Harvest category.
And lastly, we have a total of 20 poster presentations under the cross-cutting themes and biotechnology category. We also have trade exhibits coming from our partners to showcase to our conference guests. I'm pretty sure so many learnings and discoveries are there to learn from our industry partners. Before we proceed to the ribbon cutting, may we first request everyone to please stand for the photo opportunity. Okay, the photo opportunity will be done later. Thank you.
At this juncture, may we request the VIPs to please proceed to the exhibit area for the ribbon cutting ceremony to open the exhibit and poster viewing.
I guess that's all for the morning session. Please be reminded that this afternoon, we will be having the plenary session. To be updated, you may connect with us by following our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts, or by our official website at www.nfrdi.da.gov.ph. So see you later, everyone.
Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the scientific conference. Mabuhay ang pangisdaang Pilipino!